2D measurement with algebra, and the perimeter of regular shapes. Perimeter means the distance around. For example, when you put a fence in your backyard, you find the distance around your yard, or the perimeter, in linear feet, and you go and purchase your fence material based on the perimeter of your yard. When you put baseboard in your house, when you put baseboard in your house, it requires the distance around the room because, again, you purchase it based on the linear foot. Perimeter of a rectangle, it's very straightforward. You're going to add up the side lengths. So if you look, we have a length, a width, a length, and a width. So we can write length plus length, width plus width. Or if we combine like terms like we did in class yesterday, that gives us 2 lengths and 2 widths. And if we want to think about it another way, we've got a length plus width that we can see right here and here, and we have 2 of those, so we can just multiply that by 2 to come up with another equation for the perimeter. Now, if I wanted to have the perimeter of a square, how are all these equations going to change? This W becomes an L, this W would become an L, and now I have 4L. Circumference of a circle. Circumference of a circle refers to the distance around a circle. Circumference is the same thing as perimeter. It's the perimeter of a circle, but because it's circle, we give it a different name. We call it circumference. The radius of a circle is the distance from the center of the circle to any point on the outside edge. So the radius can occur in many different places. If I talk about the diameter of a circle, the diameter of the circle goes from one side through the center straight across to the other side. And you'll see that it was actually 2 of the radius. So we can say the distance is equal to 2r. And if the formula for the circumference of a circle is c equals 2 pi r, when I replace the 2r with the diameter, I get c equals pi d. For any other shape, we can just add up all the outside side lengths to find the perimeter. If I look at the example here, Susan has an odd backyard and would like to enclose a portion of it as a dog run and resod it. How much fencing will she require? Okay, so let's try this again. She has an odd backyard and would like to enclose a portion of it. Enclose means perimeter, because I'm putting something around it. So that word was important. It told us we were looking for perimeter. So I usually would highlight and write myself a note at the side. Determine how much fencing she will require. Well, fencing tells me around, which then tells me also, it reinforces I need the perimeter. So in order to do this question, I need to add up my side lengths, but I don't know one of them. If I look at the diagram of her yard, it's a right-angled triangle, and I know 1, 2 sides. Since it's right-angled and I know 2 sides, it means I can solve for the third side using the Pythagorean theorem. So I need to identify my hypotenuse first. So I'm going to find my right angle, draw a line across, and this side 9.5 is my hypotenuse. So I can start off by writing 9.5 and squaring it, and then put the equal sign, because the hypotenuse is always the side that stands alone. And then I have 7.3 squared plus x squared. And I get out my handy dandy calculator. We talked about this. We're going to go to my solution here. And I've got my handy dandy calculator out. Oh, and I don't have a screen on here. We're going to add a screen shade. I don't want you to see everything right away, but you've seen a lot. My handy dandy calculator, I evaluate this. I need to solve and get x by itself. In order to do this, I need to move the 53.29 to the other side. So in order to get rid of plus 53.29 on the right and isolate for x, I subtract it from both sides to keep my equation balanced. Not sure what happened here. That should look like this. Okay, now we can simplify both sides, and you'll see that this part here becomes 0, and we're left with x squared on the right and some weird answers on the left. I need to grab a calculator. Okay, sorry guys, I think that's supposed to be 90.25. I missed the decimal. So when I subtract them, I do get 36.96. And I have to square root both sides to solve for x. And once I do that, I get this lovely number here, and I put my approximately equal to sign because it's a rounded number. And I have to go back to my question. It didn't tell me to round to a certain place, but I am looking for fencing. So really, it's 6.1. But I really should round that up to 7 because I'm looking for fencing. I probably have to round it up to the next foot. So we're not following proper rounding rules in this scenario here. So now, if I look at my perimeter, I add up my 3 sides. And when I write my sentence answer, the perimeter of the dog run is approximately 22.9 meters. And she will need, I'm going to have to round up, approximately 23 meters of fencing. Because of course you don't want to round down, because if you round down, there won't be enough fence. Okay. If you have some time and you want to go on the school computers in the library, there's a really neat program called Understanding Math that has some extra practice that you can do with the perimeter and area of polygons, which are regular figures, okay, or regular shapes, so you can find quadrilaterals and circles, etc. So you can go through and do a bunch of these questions. You'll see there's some area questions as well, which is what we're going to deal with tomorrow. And homework, page 5, perimeter of regular and composite figures, questions 1 and 2.